I was born on my sister's birthday, December 29th, 1967, the last of 4 kids in Winnipeg, Canada, where it was not unusual for the temperature to dip below -30. I couldn't imagine my mom bundling up 4 kids to play outside, and we spent a lot of time outside. We grew up not far from downtown, and I remember countless times passing by the old war memorial. All the while, I had absolutely no idea that it was closely tied to my family, that its raising and dedication were a defining moment in our history. What? That is, until I took the plunge and did the Ancestry DNA test.
Can you imagine if our ancestors saw this stuff? They'd be like, DN, what?
Then I journeyed home, way up north to Winnipeg, to learn more about, well, me. First stop, meeting up with my brother Joe outside the old house where we grew up.
I would lie in the front yard and make snow angels. I'd look up at a streetlight and see all the snow falling. I thought it was the most peaceful thing in the whole wide world, looking up into the light.
Like I said, we always wondered about you.
Yeah, I guess you find your own fun when it's 30 below zero. That's the other thing.
After reminiscing, I headed to the archives of Manitoba, where Lisa Elsie from Ancestry was ready to unveil the secrets of my genetic makeup.
You are 100% European.
Really?
42% Great Britain, 27% Europe West, 20% Irish. Which is...
How lucky.
I know. And 9% Scandinavian. Okay. And then you have a low 2% Iberian Peninsula, which is trade routes. So your family must have had some kind of travelers that met some people in the Mediterranean.
It's a really gentle way of putting
it. Yes. Your great-grandfather is Robert Denniston.
We actually call him affectionately in the family Grandfather Judge.
He signed up for the military to go over to fight in the Great War.
You might not know it, but Canada was among the first countries to enter World War I against Germany, even before the USA. More than 600,000 Canadians served in the Great War, and that included Grandfather Judge and his 2 sons, my great-uncle Jim and my great-uncle Jack. Jack must have known the grave risk that he was taking when he chose to join the brand new Royal Canadian Air Force. Yes, planes were very, very new back then. Being a former war correspondent, I wanted to learn more about those early days of combat fighting. As luck would have it, the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada is smack dab in my hometown.
It was an extremely dangerous life these guys led. The average survival rate of a pilot at the beginning of the First World War was somewhere around 18 hours of flying time. The airplane was only 11 years old when the war began. These planes were a lot more like kites.
So this is basically the fabric.
That's right.
That the plane's made of. Because it looks like metal.
It looks like it. In these early days of aviation, that's all they had.
Cloth. Can I get a closer look inside?
Absolutely. You can climb inside if you'd like.
It's unreal. I can't believe it. It ain't comfy.
If the plane is hit with a bullet in this general area, it's going to pass right through this cloth, and you can see on the inside it really is just a piece of cloth.
I can't believe I can feel my fingers. I mean, look at this. You can actually see my fingers on the inside.
One of these things that you don't really think too much about is at the beginning of the war, the parachute had not even been invented.
It's unbelievable to think that they went through this.
We're going to talk a little bit more about Jack and his experience. This is from his personnel file, and here it talks about missing.
Wow.
The date is May 4th, 1916.
Reported missing, believed killed.
They were flying over the France-Belgium border.
Airplane was seen to fall in flames. Both pilot and observer were seen to fall out when machine was burning in the air. Presumption is strong that he did not survive. Wow. That is amazing.
And here, deep in the archives, Rachel Mills was able to dig up some artifacts that were even more jaw-dropping. One, Grandfather Judge's personal diary, containing excruciating details of that period of time.
Jack killed on 4th with Pilot.
And 2, a weathered artifact that fell from the sky along with my Uncle Jack.
This was what Jack had on him when he died?
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
It's 5 francs from the Bank of France.
So the Germans found his body, found money on him, and returned the money to his family.
Yeah.
5 francs.
But in the end, it was a simple photo of the man who went to war with 2 sons, but only came back with 1. That struck me the hardest.
This is your great-grandfather. That's him.
I've never seen a young picture of him.
So this would be about 1914, 1915. Wow.
This is the very man who later stood beneath the statue of the smiling soldier when it was erected in 1923 and gave a speech dedicating it to the citizens of Winnipeg who fell in that great war. There beneath the memorial, I read a small part of his dedication.
This monument, he said, is not set up as a memorial of war or of patriotism or of glory or victory. But the time will come when this will become a stone of remembrance in the true sense, for they who come after will not have the personal knowledge that is ours.